And I'm Stephen in Hong Kong. And today we have a very special show for you because we're going to be reviewing all our shows from 2020.
Yeah, 2020 was a very interesting year, Stephen. But we decided to start something to keep people really motivated all about travel and something exciting and positive about the year as well. And I think we've done a pretty good job.
I'd like to think so. I know we're getting lots of feedback from our viewers. Some saying they're enjoying armchair traveling from their armchair or virtual traveling at this time. But also when things get back to normal, we're trying to build a resource to help people plan their travels. And I think one of the unique things we're trying to do in this show is give people insider tips, stuff that you wouldn't know if you just read the guidebooks, but we get the experts on and they tell us those real things that you wouldn't know, the way you can make the most of your trip.
You're absolutely right about that, Stephen. And that's what I think is really special about our show, because you can just Google, the top things to do or, where to go, where to stay, where to eat. It's really easy. I mean, Google's filled with all of that information. But our experts for each of the destinations we featured come on and they talk about really unique things, even things like, in the Hong Kong video that you did, you talk about even the door to go in. You give those kind of insider. You can't get more insider than that.
Absolutely. Tips to save money, save time, and see things quite incredible things that you wouldn't know about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now we have to start, this show off with just what we're doing, telling everybody why we're doing it, because we're both big travelers. That's how we met. I was working for a big travel company, Rosenbluth International. We still have friends around the world that we met at Rosenbluth International. But the whole thing about the show is also, like you said, to do the armchair travel, but also to keep travel in the forefront. Travel has really, really, really suffered during the pandemic. So this is a way to really keep travel on the forefront of everyone's mind, keep it positive. And as you mentioned, it's a great resource when people are ready to start planning and going.
Yeah, absolutely. And, depending on countries, there's travel bubbles, and there are kind of travel opportunities right now for some people. However, a lot of us, including me in Hong Kong, the main opportunity available to us at the moment is staycation, where we either stay in our own home and make it special by doing something, or we stay in a local hotel and support the travel industry where we can as well.
Yeah, support the travel industry at home. And, we started our show with just that. You're talking about a staycation that you did in Hong Kong, and my sharing a little bit about staycation on Sapelo Island, which is where my background is. So staycations are still a great idea. You can have great fun right in your own backyard.
Yeah, and that was our first show. And if you're interested in how to create a staycation in your own home on a different theme, we've got some really interesting ideas if you check our staycation show on our YouTube channel.
Absolutely, absolutely. But Stephen, I have to jump right in now and tell you that Australia, for me, that show was really a lot of fun to do that one because, when you think back, it was just a little over a year ago that you and I were together in Australia. And, our listeners and our, viewers probably don't know this, that you and I have traveled a lot together. And we love doing that. So last year we had our own little personal reunion. So while we were doing that, we had a chance to also do some sightseeing and had a chance to go to one of the wildlife parks.
Absolutely, yes. I know you flew a long way, so we could spend 4 days together, but we maximized it. And it was December 2019, so probably a couple of months before all the big shutdowns. So we were good for the timing there. Although whilst we were in Sydney, there was the big bushfires, and that was obviously quite distressing to see. That was destroying a lot of the countryside and people's homes. I remember being there and being probably about 200 meters from Sydney Bridge and not really being able to see it through the smoke.
That is absolutely true. I mean, I even had some, not scares, but, some concerns as to whether or not we'd even be able to land because of the fires. But while we were down on the Sun Coast, we actually went to the Caribbean Wildlife Park, our sanctuary as well, and got a chance to hold a koala bear, take pictures with it, and also see the kangaroos. That was so much fun. I learned so much because we had a chance to talk with one of the animal encounter experts there. a woman who was volunteering. She told us a lot of great information about kangaroos, and I actually learned a lot. So, Stephen, I would love to share with our viewers a little clip from our show where we are talking with the wildlife expert. Here we go.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, here it is.
The grey kangaroos are obviously grey, and they live in the coastal areas where there's trees and the wooded areas and the grass. The red kangaroos are a little bit bigger. Obviously they're red, and they like the inland. They're from the inland desert areas. They like the sand and the rough grounds. So that's mainly the difference.
Do you ever put them together?
They have been. They don't fight or anything. Yeah, they don't mind, but
So it's more for just creating the terrain for them to.
That's right.
That they're accustomed to, like their natural habitat.
Yes, definitely.
It's more about that. So I see some of the kangaroos actually have babies in their pouches as well.
Yes, joeys.
Joeys is what they're called.
They're called joeys.
So how long do they stay in the pouch?
Well, when they're born, they're about the size of a jelly bean.
Really?
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that, no.
And the mother licks. The baby will come out of the birth canal, and the mother will lick on the fur, so the baby climbs up into the pouch, and there it'll attach to a teat and grow from till about 8-9 months before it'll come out.
Before it comes out.
Oh, it can come out a bit earlier, but to come out to stay out, it's about 8 or 9 months. At that age, you don't often see them come out. They're just like pinkies, we call them. They've got hardly any fur.
And then when they come out, like at 6 or 8 months, then they can eat the solid food like that? Or?
Yes, they can. Yes. Yeah. But they also drink mostly the milk, because then she'll produce a stronger, a more fattier milk that helps the baby grow bigger, so it can handle the outside.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And then when they come out at 8 or 9 months, then are they then just detached from the mom, or are they still
Not
doing
completely.
things
No, they still go back and they'll drink from the mum for maybe 2 more months, and then that's when they'll really grow. They grow big, and then they're independent. And then of course the mum can have another one.
Now, there's a big group of them here. So what is this group called? What is
herd.
A herd. So are they all welcome in the
Actually,
herd?
it's a mob. I'm sorry.
mob?
It's a mob. A mob of kangaroos.
A mob of kangaroos. And then in the mob, is everyone welcomed?
Pretty much, yes.
So there's no like territorial.
I've never seen any of the males. Mainly the reds will have a. You see the reds have a fight, but I've never seen the greys. But that's not to say they don't. Yeah.
And how do people interact with them? I see people feeding them, and we can pat them on the back.
Pat them on the back. Yeah.
But do you get any kind of crazy requests? People expecting
Oh
something?
yes, some people want us to open the pouch and show them the baby, and we obviously can't do that at all.
No. Would the mom reject the baby if that
Possibly,
happened?
if somebody, yes, definitely.
So that's a no-no. No,
Definitely not.
No touching the pouch of the baby.
No touching the pouch.
And this is like the iconic symbol of Australia.
It is
kangaroo.
actually, yeah, and the koala.
And the koala,
Get our
absolutely.
koala.
Yeah. Oh no, the koalas. I had a chance to hold a koala for the first time today. So.
You did?
Yeah.
You're lucky I haven't done that yet.
Oh, you must do it. It's so sweet. They give you a hug automatically.
Do they? Oh, good.
It's
I
very
will
nice.
do it.
So you can see why that was so much fun. And Stephen, did you really like the kangaroos too? I mean.
Oh, absolutely. It was absolutely the highlight of my visit to Sydney and the Gold Coast. Just being able to interact with the animals, but also know it was handled in a great way, because it's a charity. There's a wildlife hospital there where they treat injured animals, maybe kangaroos injured at the side of the road. So they're really looking after the animals well. And yeah, the kangaroos was the highlight, and cuddling the koala, which again was done in a very sensitive way, was another highlight, to be so near that iconic animal.
Exactly. And as I said, I learned so much. I didn't know that when they're born, they're the size of a jelly bean. So
That's very small.
that's
why they need the pouch to look after them.
They've got to stay in that pouch. You can see why now when you learn that. Okay, so what about you? You're up next. What about you? Which video?
Well, I really enjoyed Switzerland, which we did fairly early on. And, a couple of highlights from that. But I have to say, probably the biggest highlight was finding out about descending cows. Now, when I first learned about it, I was expecting cows falling from the sky But it is a bit different to that, but very interesting. And of course, something steeped in history. So let's listen to the clip and find out more.
That sounds good.
And of course, after the summer, when the autumn is coming, before the snow comes, preferably they want to go down to the village again. And this is a big thing because probably in the olden days they haven't seen their families for the whole summer. Nowadays they probably go up and down in between as well. But it's a big thing to come down. So they dress up the cows. So the cows who has given the most milk and the head cow of the group, they get the biggest flower ornaments on their heads. Of course, they're wearing the traditional cowbells with the leather embroidery around. And the farmers, they dress up into their Sunday nices, the traditional Swiss outfits. And so they walk down to the village to come back to their families and to bring down the cheeses which they have produced. So this is really quite of a harvest festival, if you want to, almost. And often there is like a farmer's market with it. Sometimes there is there's a fairground with it in these villages, and just basically a great time for everybody. And it's fantastic because you can hear them from far away when they ring the bells, the cowbells. You can keep them coming, and all the kids go to the street and watch them walking down.
So talking about Switzerland, Anita, what was your highlight?
Oh, well, I have to say, I think that was too. I think we were on the same page with that one. But, you folks have to go and listen to the whole story on this. But they also had chocolate falling from the sky too. So there was something falling from the sky as part of our video. But you guys have to go and watch it to find out what that was. Yes,
it was real chocolate falling from the sky. And also there's a chocolate museum in Switzerland as well. So if you like chocolate, it's definitely the place to go.
Absolutely. You can get some chocolate there, that's for sure.
And then, another great show, in my opinion, was when we spoke about Hong Kong, my hometown, hence the background there. I'll be honest, that's not the real background at the moment because it's slightly more interesting than my real background, which is my wardrobe. That's why we've put that up. But, what you see there is a classic scene of Hong Kong and what people associate with Hong Kong. But it's so much more. I know you've been to Hong Kong a few times, Anita.
I have, and I just love the skyline. I mean, it's a beautiful skyline. You can see it when you're landing. And when I was with Pan Am, we landed at the old airport. So you would be in complete darkness, and then you come over those mountains and see all the lights in the skyline of Hong Kong. It was dramatic. It was really something to see. But, the flower market, that's my thing when I go to Hong Kong. Got to go there.
Well, as a local, my favorite is going to Lamma Island. There's lots of islands off the coast of Hong Kong, and each one is a different feel. But I quite like Lamma and walking across from one side of the island to the other. It's a kind of easy-ish hike, or a slightly challenging walk is the other way to put it. And you go from one side to the other side, ending at the Rainbow Seafood Restaurant, of course, having a great seafood dinner. Or even better, the genuine Lamma Hilton seafood restaurant, which maybe isn't a genuine Hilton hotel. And they have a pier there, and you can sit on the pier over the water and enjoy your seafood there. So a great day out. Let's hear more from the clip. You can go to the genuine Lamma Hilton. And it's a seafood restaurant, and there's a pier, and the tables are on the pier, so you can sit outside. You're literally surrounded by the sea and enjoy some really good seafood.
So now it's called the Hilton, but it's not a hotel.
No. I did try to use my Hilton on a points card and got a very strange look.
Yeah, I can see that might be a little, misleading maybe. You would think that, okay, I could go there for the restaurant, but it is a hotel. But you're saying it's just the name. It's not a Hilton hotel.
I don't think it is, although it's called a genuine Hilton. And maybe, who knows, maybe it opened before the Hilton hotel chain. But anyway, just go there and enjoy the seafood.
Stephen, every time you talk about, the seafood restaurant there, I I have to do that the next time I'm in Hong Kong.
Oh, so many to choose from.
Yes, I'm ready.
So I'll be definitely taking you to the Genuine Hilton Hotel Lama Seafood Restaurant. That is the best.
That's a long name, but hey, I can have a long lunch there too. So it sounds
Oh,
perfect.
yes. Yes, and the rosé wine there is very good. Do you like rosé wine?
Oh, well, I'm a champagne girl, but hey, I'll try it.
Okay. No, no, no. You can bring your own bottles of champagne, and they have a very small corkage, so we'll bring our own
Hey, it's a date.
in the diary.
Stephen, when you're talking about seafood and food and things like that, another show that I really loved was our Aruba show. And what made it not only special because you're on an island and you can have great food and seafood and things like that, but also we had a contest that was part of that show as well. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, a wonderful prize to stay at the beautiful Brickell Bay Hotel, which is in a fabulous location with a great view. And one of our lucky viewers, Damien Flower, won that. I'm sure he's going to be taking advantage of it when he can in 2021.
Yes, he's already told me that he's planning a trip in the fall. So he's definitely.
Oh, okay.
But you know what?
Yeah.
My attention with the Aruba show. We had Angelina Bunkley on, who is the Aruba expert. She's a sales manager there for the Southeast. And she talked about so many things. I mean, she is just definitely a cheerleader for the Aruba Island. So she definitely made it sound as though you don't consider any other Caribbean islands. You just go right to Aruba. But one of the things I really loved is she talked about Carnival. And you and I love the nightlife, but and having some fun. And she talked about that as well. But Carnival really got my attention.
Absolutely. Shall we hear more?
Yeah, let's show a clip of Carnival in Aruba, because one of the things that Angelina said also is that the music for Carnival actually starts at the beginning of the year in January, although Carnival isn't until February. So they really love Carnival there. So here's a clip.
Make the most of it.
Absolutely.
In February, we have Carnival.
Oh.
Now, Carnival lasts 30 days or more. As a matter of fact, immediately when the year starts, you start hearing the Carnival music. Because Carnival is the major celebration of Aruba.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, it every weekend there is a different parade. There is they select the steel band, the brass band. They kind of really, all sections have their own parade. They Carnival all out. So that is really, but then you can almost stay a month there and have lots of things to do during the Carnival. So that's one of the, and any other type. As a matter of fact, the Carnival is so big there that at the hotels they recreate the Carnival, the music, and then they bring the costume, and then they have a little parade again, because any opportunity to bring back the Carnival, because it's a fun time. They have beautiful costume. There is a Carnival. We have a Carnival museum. Oh, and we have been celebrating Carnival for 63 years. Wow. And the Carnival is good and it's safe. I know other places like Brazil and Trinidad has great Carnival, but they're bigger, but we're smaller. So we dance on the streets. They close the street and the parade goes around and everybody has fun.
Anyway. The costumes are fantastic. When you invited me, we had a taste of the Carnival, and it was just unbelievable. Yeah, the costumes are really gorgeous.
Oh, they go all out with the costume. They spent almost 30 days working day and night, the whole group. I mean, it's incredible.
So a lot of fun there for Carnival. But Stephen, I know that Carnival is not only in the Caribbean, because your favorite European city, Sitges, we did a show about that, and Carnival's pretty big there too.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Sitges, I think, is the home of carnivals and festivals and fiestas, because whenever I go, they seem to have something on. I remember going there one weekend in October and landing and being a bit jet lagged, going out on the streets and seeing a load of zombies, like literally people with blood and walking like in a trance. And I thought, wow, what's going on here? It's only when I got to a restaurant, they told me it was the horror film festival weekend. And on one of the nights, there's the Walk of the Zombies. And the whole town get together, and it's like a contest to see who can look the most like a zombie, or who can decorate their cart the most like a coffin. All sorts of horrific things going on, but quite a night. But of course, nothing can beat the main carnival, which is in normally in February. Again, the whole town comes together. There are numerous floats and dances in the parade, but it's just the atmosphere of the streets when you walk around. You can get that carnival atmosphere and that energy, which is quite incredible. So shall we hear a clip to find out a bit more about it?
Oh, I can see that again. Yeah, it's pretty fantastic there. Here's a clip.
By February, you move into Carnival, and the Sitges Carnival goes on over 5 days. It's absolutely amazing. Street parades, events going on, etc. Everybody gets involved, the whole community, from the children at school to the grandmas doing the floats and everything that happens. And then we move sort of towards Easter. And then here we have a really amazing festival called Corpus Christi, where they cover all of the streets in Sitges in flowers. And the children and the families and the schools will work overnight to cover, 200-300 meters of a street in individual flower petals, all in the shapes of dragons, flags, lollipops. I mean, it's incredibly creative. It's absolutely wonderful and a real joy to see. And then we have Gay Pride, which is another huge event here in Sitges in June.
Oh, Stephen, that's a great clip. Okay, the next time I'm in Sitges, I got to come during Carnival.
Yes. But you have been to Sitges, is it just once?
Just once, and I was there for your wedding and stayed in your beautiful condo. So as part of our video, we actually feature your apartment there.
I know, yes. Very proud to own an apartment in Sitges, which is very grand, big arched windows, looking over a courtyard with lemon trees. So it's my little place to go and escape things. But the great thing about Sitges is it's just 30 minutes in the train from Barcelona. But Sitges itself has a beautiful beach. So you have the best of both worlds. You've got that community town feel where everyone comes together and supports each other. A beautiful beach, beautiful little shops. I'm sure you must have done a bit of shopping there, Anita.
Well, I don't miss an opportunity to shop. And it's so easy to do that because where your apartment is located, there are lots of shops right off the front door. So perfect.
Yeah. And then 5 minutes walk to the railway station to shoot over to Barcelona, where there's numerous things to do, plus shopping. So now somewhere I know, Anita, we've spent a lot of time is in Ireland, because when we were working together, we used to travel to the town of Killarney quite a lot. So it was really good to do a show on Ireland. What was your highlight?
Oh, there were so many highlights because, again, we had our destination expert. We have Alison on who, works with the public relations and with media for Ireland. And I don't know how she packed so much information into one show. Because I think she told us pretty much everything to do, to see, places to eat, all of that. I mean, it was great, places to hike and places to go biking. And it's really, I think if someone wants to go to Ireland, definitely our video can get them ready. But of all of the things you talked about, Stephen, the Wild Atlantic Way, that highway, that is 1,600, miles of just highway and scenery and places where you can stop. And she actually said to break it up in parts. You can bike it, you can do hiking, you can drive it, of course. And I love castles and I love all of those beautiful cliffs. So she said that, that's the perfect way to do it, is to just get on that highway and drive around. So here's the clip, because she tells us everything to do. So here it is.
Wild Atlantic Way, which is the largest marked routeway in the world, and it runs from the Inishowen Peninsula down up in Donegal all the way down to Kinsale in County Cork, so 1,600 miles. So Cliffs of Moher would definitely be on my list. And if you like cliffs, just to challenge you there, I'd say keep heading north and find your way to Slieve League in Donegal. They are actually the tallest sea cliffs in Europe, not quite as sheer, but they are equally as spectacular. So that whole coastline along the wide Atlantic Way, the Atlantic Ocean, that is spectacular. So if anybody likes great drives around the world, which the wide Atlantic Way is one of them, you divide it into sections, and you can follow it on a driving tour, you can hike it, you can bike it, you can take a food tour. So yes, I agree with you, but I'd also challenge you to go to Sleeve League as well.
So what do you think, Stephen? Did you have a favorite?
Certainly a lot of insider tips on that show. I have to say my favorite is, because I've had lots of visits there, is Killarney. Just such a cute little town, so many colours, but probably my highlight is walking there in an evening and just hearing all the live music coming from the different pubs and people laughing and enjoying themselves there. A great town and beautiful countryside around it, and very near the Ring of Kerry as well, which is another highlight we talk about on the show.
Absolutely. I mean, Ireland definitely is. The next time I go, I think I'm just going to rent a car. I want to just drive that whole Wild Atlantic Way.
Yeah.
Just stop in a lot of different places and just plan, for a long stay in Ireland so that I can see it all.
Yeah. Well, I'll be with you. Keep a seat in that car for me. So another car city, talking about cars, is Stuttgart. So I learned lots of stuff on the show on Stuttgart. Seems to be, beer festival, great for wineries around there, but also seems to be the home of cars, including, I think, your favorite make of car, Anita, which is...
The Porsche. I love Porsches, yes. I love a Porsche car.
Joe covered the Mercedes Museum and the Porsche Museum, and there's a Porsche experience as well. But let's hear the clip and find out a bit more about the Porsche Museum.
Sounds good.
Actually go to the museums there. The Mercedes Museum and the Porsche Museum have wonderful restaurants where, of course, you can get a nice glass of wine, and a nice meal, where you could go and just have a coffee. And I have to mention, if we're going to talk about cars, I do have to mention that Stuttgart has 2 car-themed hotels. So you can actually go and stay in a room that's like a car wash or a gasoline station. So that's really fun for gearheads, for people really liking their cars.
Tell me more about this car wash room.
Well, I haven't stayed in it, but I've seen a lot of pictures of it. But like the bed comes out from the wall, and then there's this, and I think the whirly brushes are there.
Oh my God.
And I can't remember everything that's in it, but it's fun. You feel like you're kind of in a car wash.
Oh, that makes me want a Porsche, Stephen. So yes, please do save up. And we have the fact check so that one day we can collect all of those things that you have to bring me, and we'll just trade them in for a Porsche. We'll do that.
Yes, well, I think you won a lot of pretzels in our fact check contest. For anyone who hasn't listened to the show yet, we have this fun segment where we challenge Anita to come up with 5 fun facts. And then we fact check them with our experts. Some of them are so bizarre, the experts haven't heard of them, but it's a very fun part of the show. But I have to say my highlight of Stuttgart, many museums in Stuttgart, but the Pig Museum.
Yes.
I think it has something like 54,000 pig artifacts. So it sounds like a fascinating place to go.
Yeah, Victoria, our expert on that show, she was really telling us a bit about that because I wasn't aware of the Pig Museum. I missed that somehow in the times that I've been to Stuttgart, but I won't miss it next time.
They're the fascinating things you learn by watching our shows.
Absolutely. And, we have more great ideas for shows coming up in 2021. We're just getting started. So we want people to like and subscribe. I mean, it's easy to do. It's just a little button right there. So like and subscribe, and we can definitely help you get ready to plan your next getaway.
Yeah. Do you have any suggestions for a show? Any questions, travel questions? Anything at all, we'd love to hear from you. Just leave a comment in our YouTube channel. We have a Facebook page, and very soon we'll have an Instagram page as well.
Oh, that sounds great. Lots of pictures. But now, one of the things that I know on some of the shows that we've done is we bring on a British saying where you are featuring that saying and telling us, what it means. And I get to say whether or not it's familiar here in the U.S. because, a lot of the sayings that are British sayings are ones that we've adopted.
Yeah, or even international. As part of my travel, when I've been having meetings and I feel myself coming out with a British saying, I stop myself. But then I think, no, I'm going to share it and say, this is a British saying, and how does it translate? Do you have anything similar in your countries? And sometimes it's like a straight translation in another language. They have exactly the same saying, or sometimes they have a similar saying, but using different things. So fascinating to learn about.
And do you have a saying today that you can share with us for our year in review show?
Yeah, well, it's a saying that I heard a few days ago, and I thought, oh, wow, that's one I haven't heard for a long time, and it must be one I talk about in the show. The saying is to be hand in glove. You heard of that one?
I think I've heard it before in the UK, or not in the States, because I don't think that's one that's used a fair amount here. So no, I'm not.
Yeah. Any guesses what it means?
Well, if I had to guess, I would think it means something's close, or...
Here's how I'll explain it. Anita and I work hand in glove. In other words, very closely together in collaboration. And so we work hand in glove to try and put these shows together.
There you go. So yeah, so I guess a little bit, right? Maybe I'll start using that. I like that.
Yeah, and people might look at you a bit odd if it's not familiar in the US, but start it. You could start to spread it in the US.
There you go. I do want to be a trendsetter, so here's my chance.
Yeah, and maybe our viewers can help us by start saying hand in glove when you're in close collaboration or association with someone.
That's right. Along with liking us and subscribing.
Absolutely. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and give us your feedback.
Well, Stephen, this has been a fun show. I've really enjoyed hearing those things that that you have enjoyed about the year. We got started about mid-year, so I'm looking forward to 2021, doing more shows, and of course, doing them with you and just discovering, some places that maybe we haven't been, and we do have some places that we have been together that maybe we can feature this year in 2021. Talk about some.
Absolutely. And share some fascinating insider tips we might have learned, or our experts and guests will have learned. Looking forward to that.
Looking forward to it. So thank you guys for joining us today.
Yeah. Wish you all, if you're watching this at the beginning of 2021, a very happy new year. And as Anita said, looking forward to sharing lots more interesting travel experiences with you.
Yes. You may postpone travel now, but we can all travel later. It's coming back. Travel hasn't gone anywhere.
It will. Phrase revenge travel, which is once the borders open and everything's back to normal, everyone will want to go everywhere. And that place that you said you always wanted to go, you'll be there.
Absolutely. It's going to be a mad dash to all of your favorite spots. But there's nothing wrong with that. They'll be open, ready, and waiting for you. So bye, guys.
Well, everyone, Happy New Year and goodbye.